Greetings, African people. Today I am coming on here and I want to be honest with you, and I want to share a very painful story with you. I don't want to deceive you. I want you to think about what I'm saying. Think about it carefully because it's a very painful story. Take a look at my face. What if I told you that the person that I love did this to me? What would you say? Let's just imagine that I'm sitting here and I don't know what to do. And I don't want to keep this dirty secret to myself anymore. I want to be honest with my subscribers. I want you to understand what it's like to keep a secret like this one. It is embarrassing. I would be ashamed to tell anybody the truth. But today I decided to break the silence on domestic violence. What do you think I should do? If my partner is doing this to me, what do you think I should do? I could call the police. I could leave. Is it always that easy? And what happens if it's happened to your sister or your mother or your friend? What would you do? And I'm talking to the ladies today because I really need you to just be with me today. A sister is calling out to you for help. What do you think I should do? Take a close look at my face. I think the most of you are going to say, call the police. And I know you're going to have some choice words for the person who would have done this to me. One of my subscribers named Blind Indian Swirl sent me a note yesterday, and the person said, I saw a video of young teenager being beaten up by her boyfriend while men stood by, watch and laugh. This is a type of pain that makes loyalty to black men difficult. I suppose when he was done with her, she probably looked like me. But I'm here to switch the script on you. And I'm here to tell you, black man, black woman, white man, Chinese man, Indian man and woman, Hispanic man and their women, that what you see on my face here appears to be a face that is battered and bruised and beaten up by somebody that I could love. But what you fail to understand, that this is something that men experience on a regular. Men experience domestic abuse very much like women. The difference with men, and I'm talking about black men because, I'm not concerned about other people's community. I'm talking about our black men. You see, because we always hear that they are no good, that they're violent, that they're irresponsible, that they don't know nothing about family. And what we fail to understand is that, as I have told you many times before, the black man is always at risk. And so the situation with the Gully Bop and Miss Chin in Jamaica is something that moved me to tears. As a woman, I also got to see the hypocrisy of black women. Black women, don't worry, the men have their time coming, but I'm going to go hard on you, because I think we are gatekeepers. And I think until we start to understand the things that we do within our own community and how we separate ourselves from our men and how we cause them to go astray and how we cause them to be demonized in many cases, because we only show one side of the story. Gully Bop was beaten with a padlock, his head mashed up to the point where he had to go to the hospital, finger bitten up and broken up and bites all over his body. What do you think would have happened if he had done that to a woman? Where are the women to come out and talk about the wickedness of this thing? The blind soul person said that black men have a pimp mentality and they keep several women. Well, blind swirl, that's a very interesting name. You're blind swirl. You're like, you mix up in anything. You don't care. You just go into anything and you don't have to see it. You just swirl up in it. But blind swirl, I'm here to tell you that black women keep enough man too. There are many men in Jamaica who go away in the farmer program. You know how hard it is? That's modern day slavery. And these men leave their families behind. And some of these men don't have enough time to come off that farm land where he's there farming and slaving out himself for $2 because the government of Jamaica get a big cut of that money. And the little bit that he gets, it's really not a lot. But he's willing to do anything he has to do. See, this is why I have to big up my Jamaican man. Okay, I big up black man around the world, but I have to give my men from Jamaica props. You understand me? Because the things that they do that are bad, every man do those things. But the Jamaican man leaves his family back home and he goes there and he's working some long hours. And, my husband's father was a farm worker and he said he saw pictures of him hugging sugar cane, frozen, and see him picking apples. And when he comes home from the farm work, and drinking his tea, his hands are shaking. This is what he's done for his family. And when this man goes away, and not my mother-in-law, but other women whose husbands go in the farmer program, they have what we call Joe grind. Other men coming in and keeping the man's bed warm. And if it wasn't bad enough after he's there sacrificing his time for his family and putting up with all kinds of abuse in the modern day slave system, the woman gets pregnant. And when her husband come home, she give it to him and say it's his kid. You have men with 3-4 kids with a woman. And when they are trying to sponsor their kids overseas, when they realize none of the kids belong to them, black men pimp. Black women do the same thing too. Black men keep several women. Black women keep enough man too. And they're man. But they're slick. And many times they're not found out. Blind Swerk, you say, I should speak to the American women about the experience to gain a better understanding of why black women have nothing to do with black men. Well, here is a face of someone who have experienced domestic violence. It wasn't pretty. It was a very painful part of my past. But I still love a black man. And after 10 years of being a single woman, I gave myself to another black man. Because the black man that did that to me is not a universal black man. That black man that did that to me, has painful experience in his past. So the things that he did, they were painful and hurtful to me, but that man also was wounded. That's how I choose to look at it. And so I can't use what he did to me to paintbrush every black man, because I know that would not be right. So for all of you women who say black men have done you awful things and you therefore want to go try other men, glory be to you and your choice. But that's not my position. Gully Bop was abused by Miss Chin. And I don't care what her story is, because the thing is, if she was living in this society, she would have been arrested. And this is why I give thanks. I have to look at the good and the bad in every society that we live in. Because in Canada, and I'm sure in America as well, if that had happened to the man, that lady would have been arrested. But when Gully Bop went to the police station, the police asked him, "What do you want me to do?" And because Gully Bop is a good, kind, loving person, he didn't want to be the one to subject her to that kind of punishment. This is a black man who nobody wanted, who people still talk down to like he's nothing, like he's not worthy of a woman because he had some hard times, because he doesn't have teeth. That makes him, he is now seen as a nobody because of bad things that happened to him. And the society of Jamaica that I come from have these double standards where if a woman had her face looking like this, or even looking like Gully Bop's face, he would become the demon. You'd probably find individuals in this society going out to go assault him. And this lady did this to this man, and they mocked him and they jeered him. And there's a song about padlock him. The lady who abused this man caused him to go to the hospital, not just break his heart, but broke his body and his mental, because I live in Jamaica, and as a man, and to suffer domestic abuse at the hand of a woman. He's 50 years old, she's a young girl, so there is that thing that is going to cause him great pain, because she's a young girl, to beat him up. So you have other men who be saying he's a stupid person, they'll mock him, they'll laugh after him. If that was a woman, we talk about double standards, and we look at what other people do to us, and we're not looking at what we do to each other. Gully Bop is an example of that double standard and the hypocrisy with women, especially black women. So you have people coming out and saying, Chin, deserve all she's supposed to get financially, and leave the woman alone, and don't say this and that. And nobody, I have not seen anyone who came forward so far and say no. People say, no, you robbed him and you dumped him and you left him. They're upset about that, but they're not upset about the physical abuse that this man experienced. And what is worse, she tried to make it seem like he was trying to do something to her. Imagine if he did that to her, she would let him rot in prison. Blind swirl. Black women obviously have had bad experience from our men. They have hurt us. They have done things to us that's painful, yes. But the black man also goes through abuse, financial abuse. There are women who get involved with men that they don't want, they don't love, they don't want. And this doesn't stop with black women. It starts with white women who position themselves to go and rob the black man of his money. You have some of these beautiful white women and Spanish women going to the basketball games and buying season ticket and sitting in the front row seat because their daddies are rich, and the management team and the owners of those basketball teams, they have children and they position their children. Take a look at the musicians, the black musicians, the wealthy guys, the people who are handling them, their agents, the managers, all these producers and people. They take their beautiful, beautiful white daughter and push her close to the artist, our niece, our friend, to make sure she gets a piece of the pie. That is abuse. When you look at somebody's prospect, they didn't even have the money yet, but the possibility of become very wealthy and position somebody in the way to go and take that is abuse. So it's not just the physical abuse. Many of us black women, when our men don't give us enough money, or we think that you're not doing enough, we start telling you're a loser, you're a bum, you're useless, you have no use. What am I doing with you? What What am I going to do with you? You don't have no use. When we're done tearing out the man's self-esteem, he feels like this low. This low. Because it's hard to hear it from everybody else in the world that says that you're a loser. And you've already felt that way when you look and see other people around you experiencing certain things. And you work really hard and you don't have nothing. And no woman don't want you because you have nothing to give to her. You already must feel broken as a man. And then to have the woman who you claim to love tell you all the time that you're nothing, that you're a loser. We're all guilty of that, black women. First thing you meet a guy and you first thing you ask him, what kind of car do you drive? You know, where do you work? And if you have the guts to ask him, how much do you make? You just size up somebody. From the moment the person starts showing interest to you, you size them up and you decide if you want to go with that person or not based on how much money that person have. And you justify it, say you're responsible. And you tear down the black man's spirit because he doesn't have a PhD and he doesn't bring home a 6-figure salary. That is abuse. If the men say we don't want you because you don't have no big bank account and because you don't have a big career, imagine how you would feel. Okay. Family courts is another example of how black men are abused. The court system is not on the side of the black man. There are so many black men who pay child support to their children and they don't have access. And if they have access, they have to have supervised visitation and they didn't do anything to harm the lady or the child. Let's keep it real. Black men are abused and they're abused by black women as well and every other woman. Am I the only one who have a black eye and bruises around my face? If I go in my hallway and somebody sees me, if I go to work and somebody sees me, I don't have to report that man. My principal or my colleagues or my friends are going to call and report him. By law, they're obligated to report the fact that I'm undergoing domestic violence. But if a man goes through this, the shame of it alone makes him hide it. And if he tells a friend, the friend is not going to tell him to call the police. The friend is going to say leave or, you know, mask it. So many men go through abuse. How many times you're angry with your man because he looked at another woman and you scratch his face because of what he did? You've seen a video that I did that said if I came in my house and found my husband in my house with another woman, I'm cutting it. If a man said that, you'd hear that he is threatened to kill the woman and all these things. The double standards reek in the world. They reek. We threaten men all the time. And if a man ever make the mistake of threatening us, oh my gosh. Joe Grind don't stop crawl inside black man house. In Jamaica and different places in the world. Lots of you women who have men at your house that you probably won't want to leave. But you're at workplace having an affair with your co-worker. Black man experience abuse too. Physical and mental and emotional and psychological and economical. When money not run, black woman make man feel like zero. But it's a physical abuse that I'm talking about in this video. Blind Swirl, I appreciate you as a person. I know you're not here on the side of the black man or the black woman. No, you're not. You're one of those individuals, and I have to admit, I appreciate you individuals. We have to learn something from you because you can stay in a crowd and you can move a certain kind of way, like a Jim Screechy. You sit in that space and you listen to the conversation and you join in and you appear to be one thing, but you're something else. You're not a black woman. You are probably a white man. And I have no problem with white men coming on here and talking their story, but I don't think you want me to know you're a white man. What you're saying is, though, that the black man is no good and that they're doing all these things. White man don't beat white man. When I came to this country, that was a big problem. Shelters were filled with white women whose faces looked like mine. And meantime, there were other white men at home with faces that looked like mine too. And they suffered in silence. because they're ashamed. They could go to court. My ex-father-in-law went to court and talked about what his wife and her sister did to him, and the judge laughed. Men are abused too. Men suffer domestic violence too. Black men suffer too. And there should be no partiality when it comes to abuse. Jamaica, I have to do a shorter version of this video for you so you can understand that this has to stop. This is makeup that I can remove. I can remove this makeup. But for the individuals, man or woman, who goes through domestic violence, when the scars heal, the pain lingers. Domestic violence is not a thing for us to laugh about. It doesn't matter who does it or who suffers with it. It is a very serious matter, and we have to operate without partiality. Be blessed, everybody. Think on these things.